my query was that while I was practicing, I was experiencing a few things which was falling in line into what you talked yesterday about Nirodha Samapatti, but I then later you clarified what it was. But basically, while practicing, you might like I was experiencing full paralysis of the body and not having any like sense of the five senses, but still my mind was working. Like I had perception of like okay, so the experience was that like when I was meditating, the it was like my ears got blocked all of a sudden, and usually what I do is I got scared earlier and I always stopped and I never went beyond that point. But while doing, like while I was practicing on the your like suggestions, I thought I would just stay with it and I'll just observe. And what happened was all of a sudden the whole body got paralyzed. Paralyzed, and I didn't like paralyzed in a good way. I couldn't feel anything, and that is something that I had experienced before also, but I couldn't recreate it. But these days I can by doing the uh, like increasing the samatha initially and then going through that and like the painful experience that happens. Once I go through it, then that senses disappear. And then what happens was one weird thing happened was that while I was in that state, I was trying to move to see if actually I was paralyzed or I was not. I could feel like the periphery of this thing was there. My hand and legs are not moving, but something was moving, and it was like how the spider web is like as if there is some connection of spider web with the periphery of that whatever it was moving. I was trying to move, but it was not moving. But something was. I felt like something was moving, and it was connected to the body. And then it was going, and then I stopped, and I was just taking it and was seeing what's happening, what I can observe. And all of a sudden, I felt like, oh, why not I would try to roll my eyes up. And once I did that, the place changed. Like I saw like a, it was like a floor or like a ceiling or like some wallpaper was there, and I actually kind of drew it what it was because uh, I'll show you.
Yeah, you are an artist, so you'll be able to show it in a nice way.
It was like this. It's like a ceiling or something, and it's not. Is it visible?
No, it is actually blurry because you blurred your background.
Yeah. So basically, what happening was like I first when that image came, I was like, maybe it's it just what happens like when you try to imagine and things pop. So I thought it was like that, and then I roll back my eyes in the normal state. Then again, I'm seeing my surrounding. Then again, I went like this. There's this different place, and the same place, like that with that wallpaper ceiling and stuff. It happened like 5 6 times. Then I was sure like it's not like my imagination, but I that is something is there like there when I was rolling up, and that's what. And that was a weird feeling, and I was just wanted to confirm what kind of experience was that, and was it falling in line with whatever explanation is given in the sutta because I have not read like most of it. So yeah, but I got what you said about the perception thing. So
Yeah, so
confirm that it's not
let
the
us let
jhanas.
us let us understand the perceptions. Okay, so let's come to the gross. So we'll split it into three parts: gross perception, subtle perception, no perception. Three parts: gross feeling, subtle feeling, no feeling. It's more easy to address that way. So what is a gross perception? Is seeing this room is a gross perception. Or I call this as a room. And I'm calling this Madhukar here. There is another lady sitting next to me, which you can't see, by name Monica. And there's one girl sitting in the backside, which I doubt whether you guys can see. And that's Ananya. So if I keep this perception alive, I'm feeling this is Madhukar. And on my left hand side is Monica. And behind is Ananya. And they're all sitting in this room. So I have a gross feeling and gross perception of what is happening. So when I see Madhukar, he is dark skinned. When I see Monica, she is brown skinned. And also, if I were to move a little bit, and that's Ananya. And since my background is also blurred, you might not be able to see her properly. And also, I can call her brown skin. Okay? This is what I can do. This whole experience, this field of experience, at this point in time is gross. Okay. Now in this comes colors, shapes, all kind of things. So if somebody were to ask, what are you experiencing? I can say I'm experiencing Madhukar, I'm experiencing Monica, and I'm experiencing Ananya, and I'm experiencing this room. And what's an experience? It's just a feeling. Okay? Feeling of what? Feeling of these three people sitting in my room. What else? That's a feeling. And that feeling can give me pleasant experience, or it can give me a painful experience, or it can even give me a neutral experience. Let's say Madhukar has been arguing me from morning on some topic. I might find it unpleasant even though he's sitting next to me, and I wish he gets up and goes to his place. Or Monica sitting here, maybe she's upset with me because I did not give her more time. I'm giving more time to Madhukar. So she's having resentment and she is showing that to me, and I want her to go home. Right? And that's Ananya. And this girl, I don't know why she came here. So she just come. And I don't know how long she's going to stay. So this room has three unpleasant people. The feeling is unpleasant. Clear? But the experience of that unpleasantness is happening because of the gross thing, what is here. So this is a gross object. 1, 2, and 3. Clear? So there's a gross perception of these three objects. Now, if I close my eyes, what happens to those objects? Just see. The objects are removed. These three gross objects are removed, replaced by mental gross objects. So there I can have many different shapes, different people, different situations, and so happening. When I close my eyes, some dreamy things are moving. Now the question comes, is the dreamy thing is an illusion, or these three gross are an illusion? They both are illusion. Right? It's as illusory as this is the illusory of this closed eyes. Because they both having perception. One perception is a gross perception where I can touch Madhukar, but I'm touching a body and I'm calling that Madhukar, which is a perception. And in the dream, closing my eyes and going to dream sequence, I can't touch, but I can only feel. But still there's a perception. So the So the sense of touch, like this, grossness is not there. Now, it's not only for you, Kalyan, I'm just asking, is it clear to everyone? Okay, so this is gross. So the Kamaloka, what we are talking, has two parts. One is a gross and one is a subtle. In this Kamaloka, you will get colors, you'll get shapes, you'll get light, you'll get so many different things. Just like what you draw. Okay. And that is coming from the chitta, which is the mind. What you just now have drawn is coming from chitta. So even if you open your eyes, it's still seeing that. Just like I'm still seeing Madhuka, even though there is no Madhuka sitting here, it's just one body sitting here, but I feel Madhukar is sitting here because I'm perceiving Madhukar. In the same way, you are perceiving that thing. Clear? As a mental object. In that, you might get 100 different things. It's not one thing you're going to get. At least in here, this room, we all are seeing almost the same thing. But in a dream world or the mental created world, each one will see whatever they want. So there's nothing called similarity or differences. It can be anything.
Yeah. I was actually expecting to see many different things, and I couldn't. That's why I was.
No, that's
That's why
okay.
it's stuck.
That's
But I
okay.
understand.
Yeah.
Even now, also I can see. So it's a
Yes.
perception.
So some
Yeah.
people see a blue sky. And if they open their eyes and down the ceiling, they can see blue sky. And it stays for a long time, making them paranoid. Can happen because there is change of perception. So basically, what you can do when we say we are doing something is change the perceptions only. And when the perception changes, the feeling changes. As long as I'm perceiving the same object, the feeling also is of the same kind. So this fear will come just like you got scared because the perception is changed. I'll give another example to make it more better. In Girimananda Sutta, it talks about 10 kind of changing perceptions. There is one perception which is really, really horrible if it changes in a person. It is Asubha Sañña. You know, Kalyan, what's going to happen? If somebody were to practice it in such a way, they get disgusted. You know the next thing what you're going to do? That guy is going to jump from the building. There was a game called PUBG where people used to play and commit suicide. Have you heard about PUBG? Because they changed the perception. That game changed their perception. So death, which is jumping out of a building or jumping out of somewhere, was supposed to be a fearful activity, becomes something wanting it. So in the Girimananda Sutta, for the Hindi group, one day I saw many people eyes locked up. I understood many of them are depressed in their lives. I saw their eyes. Since I can study the eyes, I came to know at least 5, 6 people over there would have committed something. Because Girimananda Sutta will make you change the perception. It's for perception change only. But if not done through a proper teacher, that person is going to kill himself or herself. Okay? Because the game of this, what we are playing, is only change of perceptions. Another example I'll give you. In the Burmese tradition, they have Shunyagara. Right? You're done Goenka technique and you would know that there's Shunyagara. Is there a real Shunyagara? Or is it a room? It's a room. But you can call it Shunyagara. So what's your perception now? Shunyagara. Can't you do that in your room? You can. Can't you do that in your toilet? It's also Shunyagara. In fact, nobody's coming there even to disturb you, except for what is coming down from wherever you're sitting. I can do one thing. I have my own private toilet and I can sit in that toilet, change the perception from toilet to Shunyagara. I can do meditation sitting there. In fact, that's the most Ashubha meditation I can ever do. And believe me, nobody's come and disturbed me. Nobody. Isn't that size of the room is like a Shunyagara? But people take effort to drive hundreds of kilometers to get into Shunyagara. Why? That perception says Shunyagara is there. Right? So they go all the way driving and taking all the pain just to sit in one room. Why? It's gross perceptions. So 99% of what we are doing today is gross perceptions. That's it. There's no subtle perceptions. It's only gross and gross and gross. Everything is gross perception. In fact, if you go to Sheniel's home, he has created one Shunyagara for himself. And there is a rush to go there. People think I'll go and sit in that Shunyagara. In fact, we are going to have a retreat at his home very soon by the end of the year. And I can understand he might have to have a ticket system to say that, hey, excuse me, you're already done. You can allow that other person to sit in the Shunyagara. May happen. Why? Because gross perceptions. Clear on this perception. Okay, now we come to subtle perception. Is the jhana, a subtle perception. How do you do it? Breath is a subtle perception. That's the only perception which is subtle and which is neutral. So you can make the best use of it. Okay. Now, land means bhumi. So Buddha talks about bhumi. Bhumi in English is earth. So it's better to put it as land. Because if you put earth, it means that it gives a different perception. So I'll use the word earth. No, I'll use the word land. But that's better. You land on, right? You land on this runway or something like that. So it's good word use. So where do I land? I land on the subtle perception, for which the vitakka vichara is breath, not the gross objects. So what Buddha is saying is, vivicheva kamehi, vivicheva akusala dhammehi. That means quite secluded from sensual pleasures, quite secluded from hindrances or these 10 immoral deeds. You get into subtleness. Without that, you're in gross. See, I don't want these colors and shapes and all of this to come. But that's still gross. And as far as I'm in the gross, I'm in the Kamaloka. And what is Kamaloka? The six senses are Kamaloka. There's nothing else than that. They are getting gross things. So what do you mean by gross thing? The smell which is coming from say somebody's preparing coffee and that coffee smell comes, the perception of coffee comes, and I get coffee hungry now. Now I'll have a big problem with Shaniel's home in the next month. When I come, that fellow doesn't drink coffee and tea, and then I don't know what to do, let's say. There'll be good detoxification effect for me not to drink tea and coffee at his home. But somebody is making coffee or tea, and that smell just walks by and enters into the nose. I'm not touching coffee, but the nose has touched coffee. So there's a perception of coffee or the tea or food or whatever it is. So still gross experience. Even though I'm sitting there and watching the breath. But when I change that into a vitakka vichara, secluding from the sensual, secluding from the 10 immoral deeds, that coffee smell or the tea smell or whatever smell, even if Shaniel were to drink coffee in front of me, brewed coffee, it's not going to be troublesome. It's not gross. I'm not talking about closed eyes. I've opened the eyes. I'm seeing he's taking the coffee, but nothing happens to me. Because I'm on this breath. The whole body is breathing. So I don't require any coffee, any tea, any substance to charge me up, because this subtle perception is giving me subtle feeling. It's a better feeling. So I feel lighter by the body and very light by the mind. So I have taken breath as my object instead of any sensual objects. So I enter into first jhana. And when I get into the second jhana, there's no thoughts relating to the breath. Now what happens? It becomes rapture. Or we can call it as, by whatever name, joy and whatever English language you can use to say it's elated. Basically, your mind is elated, not requesting for any stuff to be given. So what happens? The hunger is dissipated. So there is no hunger. It's as good as somebody is given you food and you feel not worth it to eat anything now. So if Shaniel were to ask, are you hungry, Vilas ji? And I say, not really in particular. Are you hungry, Shaniel? And he would say, even I'm not hungry. And we both sit enjoying the subtle feeling of rapture. If you ask me, are there any objects are you seeing? And the answer is no. Are you seeing any colors? Are you seeing any formations? Are you seeing any worth it things? No. There's nothing. Are you saying there's no form? There is form. But that experience's form is so subtle that it almost looks you are not having a form experience. This is exactly what I was explaining to Bobby the other day, that there is form. Yes, there is form, but that form is not that visible because there's no gross perceptions and gross feeling. Maybe Shaniel can add in what I'm saying, is it the way it is or not? Because he's been doing jhanas. So if I'm still, sorry, go ahead, Shaniel.
No, it is exactly as you say.
And if you still have a form experience, meaning you're not in jhana, you come to the gross experience. Even though it looks like you're in jhana, but it's not. So we need to be clear that are you sensing any form? Form doesn't mean this physical form. The smell is a form because it is hitting your nose. So you're getting the perception of coffee and tea and maybe some other breakfast item and whatever. Let's assume for a time being that in Australia we are going to go The next door neighbor is a South Indian and they're preparing idli, which I love it, let's say. The name idli itself will make my tongue water, right? The perception is creating a feeling of watery sensation. Now the smell of idli, I know it. If I say I'm in I'm in a meditation session, it's bullshit. I'm faking. It's not true. I'm not in first jhana at all. Forget the second jhana. I'm not even in first jhana because I'm experiencing the idli. You got it? Like for a Bengali, he loves jalebi and so many other things. So the sight of that, no. The smell of that is sufficient. There's no sight requirement. Like in Guwahati also, they eat all of these things. So the smell is sufficient to trigger. It doesn't mean that you should see it. No, there's no need to see. You can be closing your eyes, but the smell is sufficient to pull you in that direction. So now when I'm in the second jhana, 5 things are going to happen. You can experience all these 5 things. 1, you miss the rupa, meaning you don't experience rupa. There's no way you'll experience any rupa there. Rupa doesn't mean physical form. Any form which is smell, taste, touch, nothing. No rupa experience. It's not arupa. It's the gross experience is gone. So don't misunderstand it to be a arupa. No. It's a subtle rupa, but the gross perception is not there. First, greatest advantage. Second,
So I have a
yes.
doubt. Sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
I have a doubt. So just trying to comprehend what you're saying. So when you were saying it's not a rupa, but rupa, the cross attachment or the crossness is gone. Is it like, just to comprehend, is it like if I, like how if you squint or if you like zone out and there is like some form in front of you and there is no attachment to it, but there is a form. Is it like that or it's
No. I think you're again misunderstanding. See, it's like this in front of me. Let's say this guy is sitting here in front of me, or a tree is there. But I don't experience that at all. Even if I open my eyes,
No, I'm asking with open eyes only. With open eyes.
I will
you
not
are-
experience. That's what I'm again and again trying to say. I will not experience because the breath has captivated it. The consciousness has breath as its source. So it no longer is associated with this or that or whatever that is. Even that drawing or that painting, what is there, is a gross experience. It's a gross feeling and a gross perception.
No, I understand that, sir, but just to make things relatable, like it's a query. Like how do you describe it to someone who doesn't know what not attaching to a Rupa is? That's what I'm asking. Like, is it like if you are so engrossed in a game or a movie that if someone passes by, or is it
That's
like you
right.
are so
That's
engrossed in
right.
the
See, that
movie
is
that
also
you are not
samadhi.
seeing this thing?
That is also samadhi. Something similar to it. Something similar to it. But still, that's a gross. Here you have subtle. So I'm again repeating what I said earlier. 99% of the time we experience only gross. Gross perception, gross feeling. And that's the reason Goenka technique is only for gross. It basically just look at sensation and sensation and sense. It's gross. It's absolutely grossness. There's nothing beyond grossness. What we are talking now is subtle. Subtle. There is subtle. And then there's nothing. Right? There's no thing. All that is arupa, including the 9 jhana. So we need to be extremely clear. Extremely clear means extremely clear that Anytime I do this, this is what I'm getting. This is gross and this is subtle. This is gross, this is subtle. Be very clear to distinguish. So please allow me to finish this, and then otherwise I will go in a tango. Okay. Yes.
Yeah. So, yes, sir. So it just, I feel like I understand it, but I'm still lacking something. So I'm not understanding.
I know that you are
It's
not
like,
understanding. So I'm just trying to lay down things for you, and then you need to see what practice will make you get there.
yeah, yeah.
If we
So,
don't even know the runway, if we don't even know the runway where we are supposed to landing, we'll be landing somewhere else.
yes, sir. That's why, like, I try to clarify, although I know it might be
So
repeating or.
so for now, stop your question
Mhm.
and then let me finish it. And then I'll give you a chance to ask the question. Nitin, you can ask me later, otherwise the flow will get cut. So let me lay down everything, and then whoever has whatever confusion, questions, we can sort it out, right? So basically, let's understand this. This is the second jhana. What Buddha says, avitaka vichara, he's perfectly in putting that. You don't have to look at what I should do. That is vitakka. So avitakka, there's no vitakka. And there is avichara, there's no need to think. Am I in this? Am I not in this? Where I have reached? Nothing. You exactly know it. You know you have landed on that. That's the reason it's called bhumi, or you're landed into the subtle. So you're in rupa jhana. When you say rupa jhana, means it's not a gross perceivable thing, it's a subtle perceivable thing. Only that person will know that he is in this. So he gives some examples. He says somebody taking bath and all of that, because how do you make it gross? You have to make it like that, where you put water and everywhere it is soaked, and then not even a part is not soaked or something like that. So that's how he explains in many suttas, because you're trying to make a subtle one to be a gross. So just to explain, just to state how it would be, right? So that's exactly the experience is. So that means you feel so cool. The cool doesn't mean the cold air. The cool means that where you don't have any kind of bodily and mental something holding on to it. You're just free. You can just relax. If I could say that word relax, because it is more subtle. Relax. When you say please relax, we are trying to asking him to let go of gross feeling so that he can just be relieved from that pain of holding, like, I have grasped this thing like this tight. And Aryu, in fact, this is given by Aryu anyway. So I have held it tight, and Aryu says, Vilas, excuse me, Vilas. Ah, yeah, tell me. Vilas, listen, what you're holding is a mobile thing. Oh, sorry. I didn't realize. That's what I was trying to tell you. You're holding this mobile holder. Say, oh, yes. Oh, I'm sorry. So don't you feel relieved? Yes. And that's what is the second charm. So I'm just giving you an example. So don't ask me a question back again. So you just keep on taking it. Then comes the third jhana, when you get sukha. What is this definition of sukha from an experiential perspective? Assume a person who is hungry for last 20 days or 15 days, never had any kind of food. Poor guy is struggling everywhere just to get some food. Or somebody in a desert, pretty thirsty. He's almost about to die. And some sane person comes and gives him some water and food to drink. The first bite he eats, what a sukha. Can he explain what he's feeling? It's beyond words. And the thirst which was there, Just put a sip of water, and that's sukha. Now, it is subtle. Why it is subtle? Because you can't explain it. You cannot demonstrate it. But you know you got it. So these are the examples what I have personally experienced as sukha. Other than what Buddha says about a pond and then you're sitting there and all the four outlets are closed and all of that's a good one. But I personally had this experience of sukha. I knew this is sukha. And it can be reproduced as many number of times. So I know I've reached the third jhana. And comes a fourth jhana, which is upekkha. What does that mean? Is that you can see that there's nothing which is shaking you up. No pleasure is shaking you up or no pain is shaking you up, and because they both are gone, both mental and physical. So you know you have entered the end of the rupa, that is subtleness. You're done till there. There's nothing left to experience in that. Now, when I sit there on that fourth jhana or that bhumi, the gross is completely gone. So, in its place, some people, including me, have experienced light, a huge ball of light. So, that's subtle. That's the end of it. So, in Pa-Auk tradition, they prefer somebody who has got light, but that's a nimitta that you have reached till there, which makes sense. You just see light, that's it. Light in the light of higher than the sun, more powerful than this sun, what you see. It's blinding. Even if you're on the open-eyed one, it's blinding. You just can't believe the amount of that sparkle which is there in that in that light. You just can't explain. You can only say, I'm seeing light. And some people see various shades of light, and orange to tinge yellow to white and so many different things, but light. Now the question comes, is a light really required? And the answer is yes and no in so many places. Don't have to worry about it. The only thing you know that you have to come to the end of subtlety. Now here you will get colors because of that light. So sometimes it looks yellow. Sometimes it looks blue. Sometimes it looks like magenta. Sometimes it looks brown. Sometimes it looks shades of green and so many other things. So you can't really make out. But there's no gross object at all. That means if you say I'm seeing a ceiling, it's gross because you're identifying the perception is ceiling. Or just to say it looks like a ceiling is fine. So if it's just a language, then you're right. If it is you're experiencing ceiling, like I'm saying, I'm seeing like sky, which is okay. It's perfect. It's subtle. The blueness of the sky, you'll see it in the fourth jhana. Even if you opened your eyes, you see the blue means totally blue. It's fine. You're not imagining it. You've come to the end of the subtle experience because that's a perception. It's your perception, which is fair, absolutely fair. Should anybody believe what you say? It doesn't matter. You are having the perception. Just like anybody can say there's no Madhuka. It's just a name. Yes, that's true. And I'm not experiencing Madhuka, which is okay. Right? So that's fair. So if I lose the perception of gross, when I'm seeing from the fourth jhana, this Madhukar looks to me as just a piece of wood, nothing else. And that's the reason it's called opaque, because I'm not reacting to Madhukar or to Monica here or that Ananya there or this room here. In that way, there is no monastery and there is no this place and that place and any shunyagara and this and that. Makes no sense. Because equanimity. The mind is not pulled in any direction now. It's just still. There's nothing to be experienced. Gross. And I've come to the subtle experience itself. That means neither I have any interest in gross experience here, and I have come to the end of the subtle experience also, beyond which comes the arupa. And I come to the first arupa jhana, which is infinite space. Now I'm ready to cut off this whole body. And that's it. Done. The mind has let go of this body completely. That means the gross body is gone. The subtle body is gone. Now it is in space. Akash and Chaitanya. That means there is no experience of anything called as body. Be it subtle, be it gross. Even the light is gone. There's nothing to call it as a light because still a subtle experience, subtle perception is gone. So what do I experience? Beautiful akasha, where no rupa exists. And hence, if I die in that state of mind, no one can find me, including Mara, because there's no rupa. So the domain of Mara ends at the fourth jhana, not even Akash and Chaitanya. One step below the fourth jhana. Because there's nothing. So can I not stay in the fourth jhana? Yes, then Mara, you have escaped the snare of Mara. That's it. That means you have experienced the first deathless state. Now I'm coming to the second deathless state at the ninth jhana. So I face this. Then I come to the next one, Vinyanan Chaitanya. You just don't see anything, just this experience. The eyes, ear, nose, tongue, body, and the mind dissipates into evenness of all. So you are having just the experience, or you are the experience. There is you and there's just experience. That means just awareness. It's also, you can call it as awareness of awareness. Awareness of what? The space is a binding thing, so you are out of that space. So you're unbinding. So it becomes infinite consciousness. And after that, you come into the last part of this experience, which is akinchayatana. No self-experience. Completely devoid of self. There is nothing to be self at all. In this or that or whatever, there's nothing called as like that. So the only step that remains in you is perception. Because now that this self-perception is gone. Only perception exists. And that perception becomes so low that you can't say you're perceiving something. You can't say you are not perceiving anything. It's neither perception nor non-perception, in which there is nothing. No thing was there in akinchayatana. That is also gone. So there's nothing to perceive. But little bit of perception exists. Now what I do, not I do, there's no I to do. Now what happens here in reality is, Since there are no inputs coming from five senses, eyes, ears, nose, tongue, body, the mind shuts off. And that's Nirodha Samapatti. Nirodha means cessation. Samapatti means arrived at it. And there's another word which is commonly used is Sañña, vedayita, Nirodha. So Nirodha Samapatti, if somebody wants to know what's the explanation of that, it is Sañña, vedayita, Nirodha. If somebody wants to say, in summarize and tell me what is Sañña, vedayita, Nirodha, it is Nirodha Samapatti. So what happens here? The perception is completely removed. If there is no perception, there is no feeling. And that's it. So, Kalyan, it is like this. What you see, you're seeing anything, is perception. So you don't have to be worried about what you're perceiving is still a perception. You are seeing some color, shapes, stuff like that, and it is gross. Simple. In gross, there can be 100 different things. Just make it gross. I'm having a gross sensation. Sorry, gross perceptions. Now, for that every gross perception, you will have a gross feeling. So you can be feeling whatever you're feeling. It's okay. Then comes a subtle perception, like I said about the bright light, or there's no feeling at all, no perception, no feeling of anything you had. That's sukha is gone. So now you can't say, wait a sec, what am I feeling? What am I perceiving? Nothing. Because the physical pain and the physical pleasure, the mental pain and the mental pleasure being gone, some people who are very well developed will see light, but it's not a must. But if you see light, you know that that's the end of it. That's just the end of it. So your subtle perception ends. Just like the gross perception ends when you enter into jhana, the subtle perception ends when you are in the fourth jhana, ready to get into the fifth jhana. So 5 to 8, you're out of both the subtle and the gross perceptions, and hence there's no feelings. Now you might argue, or somebody might argue, you're still perceiving space. Yes, absolutely, you're perceiving space, but there's no rupa there. Can you show a rupa of space? Aren't you feeling space? Yes, I am feeling space. 100%. But show me that feeling. Nobody can show a feeling of space. Now, feeling of consciousness, can you show? Feeling of nothingness, can you show? Feeling of no perception, can you show? It's becoming subtler and subtler and subtler and subtler and gone. So the consciousness from gross is pulled to the subtle. First arupa jhana make it even more subtle. Second arupa jhana will make it even more subtle. The third arupa jhana will make it very much gone almost, because there is no self, absolute no self. And the last one, the subtlest, it's like an oil lamp almost getting into switched off state. Last drop. You can't say there's no light. You can't say there is light. Then you count 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Finished. Unborn. How long? Up to you. So have you attained Nirodha Samapatti? Yes. Do you know the steps how to reach there? Yes. Can you do it anytime? Yes. And that's it. Have you known anybody doing it? I've heard from Shaniel. I think what Ravindra says, if I take it, I have not sat with him to do it together. So next time I'm going to meet him. We're going to do it together so that he knows exactly that's what he has reached. But that's what it would be. So if you're seeing anything, it means you're still in the gross. If you're not seeing anything, then you are in the subtle. If there is nothing to experience itself as an explanation, you are in the subtlest or nothing. So gross, subtle, and nothing. Clear. Now from what can you start? Take breath, because it's subtle. If you take any gross object, it's not. But can I take that Buddha statue for that Buddha painting for meditation? Yes, you can, but it's still gross. It'll never allow you to get out from that gross experience. So what did Buddha say? Because of this problem, what did he say? He said, Yo mam pasati, so dhammam pasati, yo dhammam pasati, so mam pasati. What did people do? They put a statue. Why? I want to be in gross. Excellent. You mean to say we should not respect the Buddha? Yes, you respect the Buddha in the Dhamma, not in that painting there. Why? Because you will never enter into the subtle. You will never. Whoever it is, you will never enter. It is impossible. You will end up being Sotapanna. That's true. If that is the objective of this life, fine. And that's it. Over. You will be in gross, completely in gross, and gross and gross and gross. That's it. So you need to see Kalyan, or this for everyone, to see where are you? Gross, subtle, nothing. Of what? Perception and feeling. I'm perceiving Australia. Gross. I'm feeling I'm in Brisbane. Gross. It's gross. There's nothing else than gross. I'm feeling India. Gross. Come on, gross. Because my experience is I'm in India. I'm in this room. Gross. This is my house. Gross. What do you mean, your house? Yes, my house. I bought it. Excellent. Gross. So your perception is gross. Feeling can't be subtle. No. Feeling also will be gross. So I'm getting sensation on my body. Gross. Heat sensation, cold sensation, itching sensation, throbbing sensation. All are gross sensation. How can I make it subtle? Not possible. Not possible. We'll be having only gross sensations. And what's the feeling? Gross feeling. What else? And hence it's called sensation. Should I not transcend this? Yes. Please. Please transcend it. Then you have to come to the neutral thing, breath. Then bring the samatha practice and then apply vipassana on that, because you have to see what the breath includes. Now you see a different thing happening. You know the anicca nature in that, you know the dukkha nature in that, you know the anatta nature in that, and all 8 jhanas, when properly performed, will get rid of the perceptions. So there's no feeling. You're done. So how many times can I do this? As many times. What do you mean? As how many times? You decide when you want. Even while working, I can get into the 4th jhana and work. Yes, why not? Who stops me? I'm in the office working at 4th jhana. No exhaustion of work. Very clear, evident. And I'm energized all the time. I don't require any sleep or any rest or anything. It's 1 second. So basically, can I be in 4 jhana? And that's what Samma Samadhi is all about. 4 jhanas, not 8 jhanas, 4 jhanas. So for a normal working condition, interaction condition, 4 jhanas are sufficient because you're out of the Mara's domain. Just be in that. No Mara can attack you. So that's the change of perception. What are we doing with Buddha Dhamma is to change the perception, not physical. Nothing to do with physical. It's not a physical domain thing. It's a mental domain. It's no physical thing. Physical domain is Jain. You have to follow Mahavira. That's physical domain. So in the name of Buddha, we are following Mahavira. Because everything for us is physical. One physical room, one Shunyagara room, one this Buddha statue, one that one this one cushion, on that another cushion. And that's what we want. It is physical. That means we're always wanting gross, expecting subtle is never going to happen. You have to let go of gross. That's all what it is. So any questions on this 9 jhanas? Yes, Saryu.
One question on the 4th jhana. When you say you see light, but also you don't see any form, does
Yes.
it mean there's no shape to it?
No, just a bright light. You can't say it is white light, yellow light, and all that is just still a perception. So then we have not come into no perception state. So and hence there's a perception. So you need to know that till the 9 jhana you have perception. Yes, go ahead.
So I cannot say, oh, I see a round blue light. That means
no, it's still there. It's a subtle perception, but not the gross experience like what I explained about Madhuka. I'm touching and see that girl Ananya. Oh, she's still there. Oh, sorry, I thought she vanished. Okay. Now, if I were to touch her, if I were to touch him, I get a male feeling, right? I touch her, I'm not going to, okay, I'm touching him. So I'm touching her, I get a female feeling. This is gross. This experience of saying that this is, now when I get into the jhana, the first jhana itself, not even the 4th, if I touch this girl, there's no feeling. And if I touch this, there's no feeling of grossness of these two. First of all, I'll not touch. Let's say on top of that, I feel like touching, means I'm still in the Kama Loka because I want to enjoy this, let's say, hand. But in the first jhana, don't feel anything. Even by mistake or by whatever, touching. There's no feeling because there's no perception. You see, you cut off that perception of grossness, so there's only subtle perception. Yes.
Yeah, I guess I'm imagining, but it's hard to understand when you say you see light, but you cannot perceive shape or color. Right? You cannot perceive.
No. You are perceiving color. That's the reason I said some people will see yellow and crimson and orange and all that. It is there. But that perception is not gross perception. It's a subtle perception. See, Ariu, we all are seeing these gross objects. So that seems to be the reality. Correct? Now you ask Shaniel, he can cut off that perception. Can you not do it, Shaniel?
Yeah. And then even now, as in first jhana, just listening to Vilasji, and I'm looking at these things in front of me, but that symbolization is not there. So like even now I know, okay, this is a keyboard in front of me. But when I'm in first jhana, it's just like this, it's this shape there. And I get with my eyes open, but it's not jumping out. This is a keyboard, or this is a mouse, or this is whatever, you know? That's cut off that perception of what this thing is.
Yeah, that's what it would mean. Ariu. Yes, Kalyan, go ahead.
Yeah, I just want to ask Shane this. Like, so someone who has not experienced jhana, or someone who is a kid, if you have to, like, what I'm understanding is like this. Like, suppose I'm a kid and you were saying this to me, and like in front of me, it's the shape of the keyboard, but the definition of keyboard is not popping right away. I have to come out of the first jhana and come to this gross mode to say, oh,
yes,
I remember this is keyboard. So that's what I'm asking. Is it like, because it's very, like, suppose if your eyesight gets very blurred and you cannot, I'm just saying, like, not saying, like, just assume like somebody's eyesight's got blurred and they cannot identify an object and cannot say, like, so for him also it would be same, right?
No. It's not like that.
No, like what I'm saying is like in a very on the face thing. Like,
No,
that's what I want to know. Like,
No.
So that
I got it. I understand, Kalyan. What he's trying to say is you need to put an effort now to refer it as a keyboard and mouse. It's not that he's become blinded. No. Now the question comes, you have asked it correctly. If there is a blind man, is he also not experiencing the same thing? I would ask this question. In the gross state of existence, because there is perception, that's how it would feel. But when you basically master the first jhana, you would know that difference for yourself. You'll never have this doubt.
like the closest I can get is suppose if I'm waking up from a very deep sleep, the first few seconds for me I do not understand where I am at. Like in front of me, whatever it is, it takes time for me to realize, oh, is this object like this? So is that something similar or it's far different?
No, not at all. It is even more subtler than what you're saying. What he's saying is more subtler than this. It happens to everyone that when you wake up, you're not totally in the frame of mind. Disoriented.
Yeah.
He is not disoriented. He's completely oriented. It's not like Shaniel going to open eyes and say that, wait a sec, where am I? No, that's not going to happen. He knows he has keyboard in front. If he wishes, he can take that keyboard. I mean, he can recognize the keyboard then and there. If he doesn't want, he doesn't have to. So the decision making is with him.
So the understanding of the function of the object remains.
Yes.
Can you say?
The senses remain, but the experiencer is gone.
Yeah. And then you're not troubled by that, by things. It's like, okay, it's just a thing there.
That's
It has
beautiful.
no association to me or anything like that. It's just an object.
I'll give you another example from his office only. Do you see that HAL and that F is fallen down? I don't know by purpose or it has really fallen down. I don't know. And there is brick, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Half brick. Now, do you really see there is half brick there? Or are you constructing half brick? Constructing. What if you're in first jhana and you're seeing the damn thing half brick and not even a brick will enter into your perception? Forget the half portion of it. Yes. No. No. So, Kalyan, I can do one thing. I can call this as half brick if I want. Or I can just look at it and no half brick appears. Both can happen together. Meaning, if I want, I can bring back the perception to that half brick. Or if I don't want, I can remain without affected by that half brick. A normal person would ask Shaniel, is that meant to be like that? Your F is fallen down like this. Is that a by choice or is by happened by chance? And if Shaniel has not looked at it and he would say, oh shit, it has fallen down. That's what I thought so. Because he wants that to be in that whatever his field of perception is. Who, like me, who is gross. So I would ask, and I'm so uncomfortable that F fallen there that every now and then and say that, Shaniel, I guess you're going to make that proper. It is his company, whether F he puts in the front or in the back, how does it matter? But I'm slightly uncomfortable with that. And then I say, is that, the font, is that by choice or by chance? And then I say, there's so many items you have kept, and what is that? By the way, it looks like an airplane, and no, there's a space shuttle. Or it doesn't look like a space shuttle, but it looked like that. And by the way, why have you kept that monitor unused condition? Then he would give some answer to it. And then I would say, I can see like a water bottle thing. What is that? They say, what water bottle? And by the time he gets mad, he's going to switch off his camera because I am not allowing him to sit for a moment. There is something written there 20. What is that? And what is this? This is the cross perception. Am I disturbed? No, I'm curious. So earlier on, when we met, I and Aryu met, our friend Aryu used to tell me, curious, just curious. I used to feel, why are you curious? Because that's a disturbance. No, I'm just curious about, Shaniel, can you tell me, no, don't take it wrong. Why is that guy standing like that? Do you like it? Some kind of icon or that gamer guy who's standing there. Why is he angry? What angry? No. That cartoon thing, what you put there, why is he like that? I'm just curious to know. Now, if he's a smart guy, Shaniel should just switch off the camera because his curiosity ends nowhere. It goes every object now. He'll say this and then the next one and the next one and the next one and the next one. Why? Because his mind is going around like in a topsy-turvy. Now, if you ask him to watch the breath, it's impossible. Because he's struggling with those cross objects. So what he's trying to say, what Shani is trying to say is, he can, if he wants, he can make it a keyboard come to life. If he's in first jhana, that keyboard is gone. Gone means he's not physically flown away or done something with it, or his dreamy state, or he's gone into, just like what you informed, that once he wakes up, he is disoriented. Shaniel is not disoriented person. There's no disorientation at all. He's completely oriented. Nobody can fool him that by taking that keyboard away and saying that, Shaniel, you said there's no keyboard. No, he's completely in his sane of mind. But he can, I don't want to use ignore because that would be a wrong word. He can cut off the experience of keyboard because there's no perception. It's not that he can't perceive. He will perceive. In fact, tomorrow what we can do when we meet up, there's one sutta where Buddha explains about having the Sañña perception and not having Sañña. I'll cover that up tomorrow. I think that might give some good argument, because Ananda asked this question to Buddha, and Buddha explains to him, Ananda doesn't understand a single word what has been spoken by him. He goes to Sariputta and repeats the same question, and Sariputta explains the same answer to him, and he says, sadhu, 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 just like a teacher, so the student, and he goes away.
So one last question I have
Sure.
on this. So when we say perception, we are talking about the full picture. Like how I'm thinking is, suppose the keyboard. The keyboard is a keyboard when we know the full word of it, which is keyboard. But if I say a story like A, E, and then S of an arrow.
No, not like that. The whole thing. If I say Shaniel, it's a whole thing. The 6-footer, 2 inches body with a t-shirt and whatever he's wearing and blah, blah, blah is Shaniel to me. It's not eyes and ears and a nose and tongue and like that. No. Now, I can cut off. I use the word specifically cut off. Shaniel completely in the first jhana. And there is no experience of Shaniel at all from then on. There's nothing to experience as Shaniel. The Shaniel is gone. So, to cite an easy example, next month, that is, we are almost coming to October, November, I'm at his home. The same place where he's sitting, I will be sitting there or somewhere. The same half-brick studio is what he's having. And we both are going to eliminate this whole place out. You got the point? And neither he has any home. Forget the Shunyagara, he won't have anything at all. And still he is in the house. So if somebody rings the doorbell, we're going to open the door. We are not going to ask Bobby, because Bobby wants to come and stay. Bobby becomes our support fellow, saying that, Bobby, if there's a bell ringing or whatever happening, even the fire takes over us, don't have to get disturb us. No, we can go and open the door. But we are cut off from that as well. That's called subtleness. You are in subtle space.
Experiences are gone.
Experiencer is gone. There's nothing to experience. So I don't know how else to help you other than asking you to come over here and we can do it together when I come back from Australia. That's the last resort.
I'll try, sir. My actually brother is there only in Bangalore.
And then you come over.
He's in sickness, so that's what
Or whatever it is.
my dad told you.
Yeah, I know all your story, but that's just a last resort in case you're not able to pick this up. So you need to see whether you've left the gross perception or not. And that's the reason I wanted to cover this to all of them. That first is a gross perception, gross feeling. You have to let go of gross perception, gross feeling to come into subtle perception, subtle feeling. Then you have to let go of the subtle perception, subtle feeling to get into subtlest, or you can say nothing. And then it completely extinguishes completely extinguished. There's nothing left. The fire is completely gone.
So, like just in the past, like when you were stuck at this kind of things, where probably you have also gone through a phase where
Yes,
some kind of similar thing happened.
I have
When
gone
you
through this
decide
without. I have gone through this without anybody helping me out.
guiding you. Yes.
Just
So, what did
imagine
you do,
the
sir?
just imagine the amount of darkness I would have had, or rather, if I use Shaniel's, he makes that game Fruit Ninja. I don't know how many times I've got cut, or how many times I've lost my life in that game, because there's no one telling me what I should do next. And in that, I've attained this with all these odds. So it's very easy. It's not too difficult at all. You just have to know how to cut off the perception, and that's it.
The last
Right,
reflection.
that's what I think. It will take some time because I'm doing that samatha vipassana thing, but it's taking a while.
That's okay. Let it take a while. So don't get worked up. You should know that there is gross and there is gross. You should know there is subtle, there is subtle. You should know there is subtlest, there is subtlest. Simple. Yes, Shaniel, carry on. Bye-bye. So you need to do that. Nitin, you had a question. Sorry that I stopped you when you wanted to ask.
No, sir, it was by mistake. Thank you.
Okay. So hope everyone is clear on this thing. So first things first, the body experience ends at the first jhana. Anything called as a body itself goes away at fourth jhana. And then onwards, there's nothing left. So at fourth jhana, the Mara itself is not there. There's no concept of Mara. Because there's no grossness. Yes, Sari.
Sorry, this I had a question because I thought this Mara is at the peak of this Kamaloka. I thought if you go into jhana, you're already cut off from Mara.
Yes.
So why did you wait till fourth?
No. I'm just, because Bobby was asking the other day, I just wanted to tell him, because I'd sent him that MN 106, and in one of the sutta where there's a Brahma, and then all of that is there. In the first jhana, there is the body experience a little bit, even though it's subtle, just like what Shaniel rightly put out, that keyboard is there and mouse is there. If he wants, he can, and if he doesn't want, he will not. So as long as the perception and feeling remains of the body or of the object, the Mara is right there. And the moment you don't have the perception of that, the Mara is gone. Good, then. Should we then end for the day? Call it a day with a nice... And tomorrow I'll take up that sutta where this question asked between the different Sañña, and then our friend says, got it, and basically he doesn't know what he got.
Morning, Ravindra sir can join. Morning.
I think he can join, but I don't know
It's
whether...
a good thing. You have to ask.
Ravindra, you want him to explain,
In the morning.
but he is in office. He is not... See, at present he's in the office, so he can't speak. If tomorrow, if he wants to apply leave and for us and then explain for English crowd, I would not mind that.
हिंदी के साथ जैसे join किया था. Very good.
Ravindra, there is a request of you taking off tomorrow and explaining.
Not off, only one eye.
No,
I
here...
don't have lots of work to do tomorrow, so I can't take you. But second is the holiday. We try that first.
Yes, second we can do. Second is a holiday anyway.
Will not. But anyway, we'll be there.
You are there at home. At your home only you will be there.
Okay.
So you can listen. And all of them can understand how he has accomplished and all that. So we'll take second as a day only for Ravindra. Okay, all right. Good day and good night.